What's up everyone, Ryan from Oakland Ghosts, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the composition process and a specific step in it that I'm going to call the jam is not the song. Until it is. I actually had to add that caveat. As I was kind of preparing to kind of gather my thoughts and articulate how I wanted to present this idea, the song that I was going to use as a demonstration of the idea chose to be an exception to the rule. Proving once again that that's why we call it music theory, not music proof. So I've made a ton of videos at this point covering kind of my creative process all the way from, generating ideas with pieces of gear, all the way down to full-on arranging and what my thoughts on arranging are. And one comment and question that I still get constantly is, how do I get out of 4-bar loop hell? Like, how do I spin out this idea that I have that's a core loop? How do I spin that out into a broader song? And although I have made videos on the arrangement process and my thoughts on it, the truth is, by the time I get to the arrangement process, I've pretty much already figured the song out. And the reason I figured it out is because I jam. Now I know what you're thinking, but this video is called The Jam is Not the Song. That's true, and we're going to get to that. But the value of the jam is absolutely vital. When I've kind of figured out my core loop, once I've kind of got to that spot, I think a place where a lot of people get stuck is they don't know where to go from there. That's where the jam comes in. Here's the thing. With music, with art, with any kind of art really, the art is not the song. The art is the process of creating the song. The song is just a byproduct of that process. So if you're here and you're making art, the art is in the process. This is your playground. The jam is the spot where you get to really explore. It's where you get to sit around and say, oh, how am I going to get into this part? How does this lay on top of this? Free your mind of expectation. Just play. Just have fun. This is where the song is yours. This is where it's for you. It's for you to really explore your intention and explore your idea. Because the song is actually not for you. It's for them. Once you release it, it's not yours. It's theirs. Let's try to think of this in like movie terms, right? The jam is the director's cut. That's where you're shooting all the footage and you're really exploring your idea. That's where you get a chance to really nail down your vision. But that's not the job of the song, right? Because once the song's out there, people are going to form their own impressions on your intention. So the mission of the song is that's your final edit. That's for the plebs. That's for the normal people, right? So your job when you're arranging is actually to pare down your idea to the simplest terms, the cliff notes. You want to make it as clear as possible in as few words as possible what you were intending to convey. That's your job, and that's the song's job. But that's not the jam's job. And too often what I'm seeing these days is I'm seeing people just throw up a jam and assuming that that's a song. And I don't think it is. You can't expect me to understand your intention. When I'm in the jam stage of things, I like to spread that out over multiple days. Some people like to record these sessions and then kind of choose the best bits and then mangle a song together. That's certainly one way to go. I mean, there's no rules in music. The way that I find that bad ideas tend to go to the wayside and good ideas tend to stick. And at a certain point in my jam section of my songwriting process, the ideas start to coalesce. The jam starts to become consistent. I start to have an intro, I start to have an outro, I start to have this place where I'm raising the cutoff filter, whatever, right? At a certain point, you just start playing the same jam. That's when it's time to arrange. But the arrangement process isn't just recording that jam. That jam is your director's cut. The arrangement process is the editing process. This is where you have to strip down your idea to its barest form, to its clearest intention, so that a viewer or a listener can hear that and hopefully understand what your intention is in the simplest terms. So it's things like, okay, well, did that intro really need to be 16 bars, or can I cut it down to 4 or 8? It's the polishing phase, right? Ship this away, find where, okay, well, right there, you know what, a big cymbal hit would be good. That's what the arrangement process is for me. It's where I'm really polishing that idea and stripping it down to its barest form so it could be as clear as possible. Because once I release the song, it's not mine. It's theirs. It's everyone else. They're going to form their own impression. The thing that's for me is the process of creating it. And this is the only chance you're going to get to do it, which is why the jam is so important. Play it, love it, figure it out. This is your place to explore. This is your playground. That's what the jam's for. Use it, enjoy it. But the jam is not the song. Until it is. Now we're going to get to the until it is process. I believe what I'm saying is in most cases true. But there are situations where they aren't. Here's the thing. If you check out my song sketch playlist, there's probably, I don't know, like 50 songs at this point. I can count on one hand how many of those songs are actually jams. And that's it. Like, I didn't actually do the process of editing it and really polishing it down and figuring it out when I got to the arrangement process. It's vanishingly rare, I find. There are some situations where you're just in the flow and it works. I mean, I can think of one song in particular that I call Technocrat. You know, we've tried to think of ways that we can strip it down, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work when I cut chunks out or when I try to... It is what it is, and that's what it needed to be. It was in the flow, and it just makes the most sense the way it is. The song that I'm working on now that we're playing in the background here, this song is almost entirely generative, and the fact is, if I were to arrange it, so much of what I'm doing is, in the live performance part, is improving and reacting to what's happening with the generative sequences. Now, even if I were to record that arrangement straight into the deluge, which you can do, you know, and then record everything separately and kind of try to figure it out, every time it plays, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be the same because it's generative. And so much of what I was doing is relying on reacting to it. And it was so frustrating because I was trying to put this video together to showcase this concept. And of course, this song has to be a song where it wasn't going to work that way. But that's the beauty of music. There are rules to be broken, and nothing is hard and set. But I still believe, in most cases, the jam is not the song. I see too many times, I see people just kind of rushing to get content out there, and they want to do this, and you're not, in my opinion, showcasing your songs in the best light when you're just calling a jam a song. It's just a jam. And there's nothing wrong with sharing jams either. I mean, that's fine. That's fun. But it's not a song. I don't think. What do you guys think? Drop me a comment. Let's have a discussion. This is just my stupid thoughts and something that's been ruminating in my head for a while. I hope you found this informative and not just an old man yelling at the clouds. If you found the information interesting, at the very least, consider subscribing. It's a great way to support us and it means a lot to us. Thanks so much for joining me. Ryan out.